All right, first thing that you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna find your stance, okay? Your stance is going to be the most difficult part of this entire movement. That being said, you're going to basically line up your palm, okay, with your shoulder. So the starting position, feet shoulder width distance. So from your view, it would look like this, okay? So my heels are right under my shoulders. You want to stand a decent distance away from the target, which is going to be the bench. And all you're going to do is then place your palm on this bench, keeping your shoulder in alignment. All you're going to do then is you're going to lean into the movement. This is the hardest freaking part because now you're actually engaging the muscle. So the shoulder, and now you're engaging it directly through the joint, but then your abs also need to be tight. Once you have this sturdy posture, you're going to then grab the weight on the opposite side. Now, so not only am I now working this aspect of my body, which is the left to you, okay? Not only am I working my core, not only am I stretching out my hamstrings, but I'm also extending my hips, right? As to not come into this posture here. So I'm actually working my thoracic spine. So much going on. Finally, we're gonna then row, okay? Now the row is I'm simply gonna take the dumbbell from the floor, and all you're gonna do is you're gonna row it directly to your hip. Now in the camera, you should see that my elbow is coming slightly higher than my back. And I'm literally driving this elbow directly to my hip. Now I'm already sweating, just trying to stabilize this through my left hand, which is on the bench. Driving it directly to my hip, opposed to just driving it straight up, which is going to use your trap, and we don't want that. Now you're not going to totally shut off your trap, but as long as you're driving your elbow to your hip, you've mastered half of the battle. Now what's going to try to happen is you're going to want to try to push away from your body because that's easier. You don't want to do that. You want to lean in to this muscle that's working to stabilize. Now, I'm going to switch arms. So again, I'm going to put the weight on the side of the body that I'm going to work. I'm going to line up the joint, so shoulder directly through the heel of the hand or the palm, okay? I'm going to make sure my shoulder, my wrist, and my hip ideally is in alignment, and then I'm going to lean into it. It's hard already because the core is working, the hamstrings are working, and the thoracic spine is working. From here, we have shoulder width distance to the heels, and all I'm going to do is now lean into this muscle that's already working to stabilize, and I'm going to lift the elbow directly to the hip. Now notice how slow I'm going, because I want to stabilize here, and I'm going to slowly lower here. Because if I don't slowly lower, what I'm also going to miss is the eccentric portion of the rep, which is actually where we find the most muscle breakdown. Now, again, your body is going to want to start to break down and do all kinds of crap like this. You don't want that. You need to stay extended at the spine, stay leaning into the shoulder and the hand that is doing the stabilizing. Again, not to rock back because that's easier. See how much I'm sweating? Maybe you can or can't. And you're inhaling up and exhaling down. Let's look how Jen's heels are right under her hips. That is essential. See how her knees are not bent forward, but she has a soft bend in the knee, engaging that hamstring. You can feel that, right, Jen?
Yeah.
All right. You can see how hard it is to just stable yourself on that right shoulder through the wrist, right?
Yeah.
All right. And she's really inhaling strongly as she drives that elbow directly to the hip. She looks awesome. Like, this is perfect form. Now Jen's going to the next arm. Boom. A little higher up with that elbow. There it is. You see how you can see that elbow peeking through, just through the camera. Now I'm actually even on the floor, as so you can see what the first couple reps are gonna look like. Now obviously, that elbow is gonna start getting lower and lower and lower because that's fatigue and it's natural. Move forward a little bit at the shoulder, not at the feet. Your feet look good, right there. There you go. See, the body wants to push back, as said, to get away from that difficult tension coming through the shoulder, the abs, the thoracic spine, and the hamstrings. Good job. So that is the way to literally do the proper single arm row, okay? To engage the entire body, to get the most out of the movement. It's gonna make you strong everywhere, not just your back. And again, it is an isolation movement. So where you're weak in your back, you're gonna find flaws. So what do I recommend? I recommend that you're looking at time under tension versus reps, because time under tension, I can say, okay, I got 20 seconds over here, 30 seconds over here. So that would mean prior to going to the next set, you're now gonna make that 20, 30 for that current example. So they balance one another out over time. Talk to you soon.